with Michelle Fredericks and her daughter Gabby and Ella. And we're going to talk today a little bit about how to build a home gym with minimal space and minimal equipment. So Michelle, thanks for allowing us to come into your home, and Gabby and Ella, thank you for being with us today. So you guys ready to do some activity today at home?
Mm-hmm.
Great, great. Okay, so Michelle, tell us a little bit about what your current exercise routine consists of right now. I think we were talking earlier that it can be a little bit sporadic depending upon your schedule.
Yes.
Okay.
Schedule is very tight with my husband, who works, of course, and leaves early in the morning. I'm not a morning person.
Okay.
But I also know that if I don't get it done in the morning, the evening is also super busy,
Okay.
and I'm exhausted by the end of the day and tend to put it off if I don't do it in the morning. So maybe a few times a week I'm doing some sort of, conductive exercise.
Now you were telling me earlier that you did a video this morning.
Mm-hmm.
You did a
kickboxing video.
Kickboxing
Mm-hmm.
video. So is that, if you're going to exercise at home currently, is that what you will typically do, is some type of video? And videos are actually a really good thing to use at home. You just want to make sure if you buy a video that it's by a reputable trainer, and maybe stay clear of the videos that are used strictly by celebrities unless they have some type of trainer with them. You want to make sure that you have a reputable person that you're doing the video with. So videos are a great resource for a home gym. So would it be a little bit easier for you if you had other pieces of equipment or other things that you can use perhaps at night, and Ella and Gabby can join in and do things more as a family?
For sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did today is, we're in Michelle's living room, and you can see the TV is in the background. So what I did today was bring some equipment in, and we're going to show you pieces that you can use that don't take up a lot of space. And you can do most of these while you're watching TV, even if you choose to. So the first thing I brought in, and we've talked about these before on previous segments, but we brought in an exercise ball, and that is what this is. This is a great piece of equipment. You can use it for a variety of different things, and now we're seeing a big surge in some people using these as chairs in an office setting. We get asked quite a bit about that, actually, and it's a great thing to use. So when we look at a stability ball or an exercise ball like we have right now, we want to make sure that it's inflated to fit the person pretty well. So Michelle, I'm going to have you actually sit on this right now, and Michelle's going to take a seat. We want to just make sure that the ball really isn't too big for her. So we're going to see that her knee has a nice 90-degree angle, so she can even sit to the side a little bit. Why don't you sit to the side so we can see? And so this ball really isn't too big for her. If she were sitting up a little bit higher, we would want a little bit smaller ball. So that's inflated to a really good height. The other thing I brought today is, this is a weighted exercise ball. And everything I'm showing you can find just about anywhere, in a local big box store, just about anywhere. You can order them online also. So this is a weighted ball, and you can feel that that's a 4-pound ball. Doesn't take up a lot of space, obviously. The kiddos might want to be careful with it.
Let Ella try.
And we have an exercise band here too. Again, you can find this just about anywhere. So these are some of the pieces of equipment that we're actually going to use tonight when we're working with Michelle. And we're also going to use Michelle's own body weight as some resistance for some exercises as well. So even if Gabby, Ella, or Michelle aren't going to really exercise per se, you can even sit on the ball just to watch TV, just to have a good time that way. Like to bounce and do a lot of things there. Now, what we also did is we grabbed a couple of canned goods that you can use right out of your cupboard for some type of resistance. Another thing to use is milk jugs. So if you empty some milk jugs, you can fill them with different amounts of water to build the resistance. So as it becomes easier, the milk jugs are really nice because you just keep filling them up.
Sure.
Okay, so those are a few things to use as well. So we'll do a few things with some cardio to get the heart rate going, and the girls will have fun with those types of things. And we'll do some things with the equipment that I just showed you now. There's also a variety of different things that you can buy. Jump ropes are a great thing to use outside, obviously. Kettlebells, different pieces of equipment that way. Or you can buy some hand weights as well. Things like kettlebells, you want to make sure that there's some type of video instruction with them. And a lot of times the balls will even come with the video that you can use.
Right.
Okay? So sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, so I brought with me today some different exercises that we can do using these different pieces of equipment. And Michelle, you're going to demonstrate these for us, and I will guide you through each one. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and have you sit on the ball again. And what I'm going to have you do is I'm just going to have you walk your feet out and roll down the ball. And keep going so you're laying about on your back. You can even roll back a little bit further. Okay, so Michelle's actually going to do an exercise here for the core, for the abdominals, and we call it a chest lift. So if you put your hands behind your head and the elbows are nice and wide, you're going to know this as a crunch, basically. So you're going to curl up. Perfect. And then back again. Now the nice thing with the ball, as opposed to doing this on the floor, is because you have a greater range of motion on the ball than you would just doing this on the floor. So if you curl up again and then you roll back, you're going to notice you can roll back further than if you had a hard floor coming up on beneath you. So this gives you a little bit wider range of motion, a little more benefit. So you can do these, you could do them to fatigue, you could do it about 15 times or so, a couple of different sets if you choose to. Okay? So that's one. So you can go ahead and roll on back and take a seat. Now, the one thing to remember is whenever you work one muscle group, we want to work what we call the opposing muscle group. And so she worked her abdominals with the chest lift. So then we would want to make sure that the low back gets in there as well. And you can use the ball for that also. So I'm going to have you go ahead and just kneel right in front of the ball.
In front?
Yep, so go ahead, just kneel down. And I'm going to have you lay over the top of the ball. Roll out a little bit so your knees come off. Very good. Now I'm going to have you take your hands behind your head, and you're going to lift. So now we're going to get back into these, the low back muscles here as well. So you're going to come down. Same thing, you have a nice range of motion here, and then you're going to roll back up again. Okay, how does that feel?
Good.
Other than the one caveat here is sometimes the ball pushes on the abdominal area and breathing becomes an issue, but you know.
Who needs that?
Do we really need that? It's overrated anyway. Okay, so those are a couple of different exercises you can do on the ball. A couple of different things also that you can do. You can actually do a push-up off of this.
You can do that.
No, you can do that. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you kneel behind the ball here. And then I'm going to have you roll out onto the ball. So just face down. Yep.
Okay.
Keep going. Put your hands on the floor. And just continue to roll forward. I don't know how much of this you guys are going to get.
I don't either.
Okay, and just hold to where you're go to where you're comfortable and hold. This is a ball plank. And you progress through this by, as Michelle gets more and more used to this activity, she's going to keep going, walking forward until hopefully she can get all the way back to the shin level. Some people can even go on their toes. So from this position, you can also do a push-up.
You can?
Yes, you can. Perfect. Good. So you can do about 10 push-ups there or build up to 10. So you can see how versatile using the ball actually is. All right, so that's a few things on the ball. If we look at the band that we brought, this is a great versatile piece as well. It provides a little bit of resistance. So we're going to go ahead and not let the ball roll away. What I want you to do is go ahead, take the handles and step right in the middle of the band with 2 feet. You got it. Elbows are going to be into the side and you're going to do a basic bicep curl. So you can see up to the chest and down. Now if that is a little more resistance than you like, then you can take one foot out, put the other foot back, and you're going to notice a big difference there as well. Okay. So again, if you're looking at the tricep or biceps, you're going to look at the triceps, this little thing that, you know, most of us when we wave and stop, it keeps going. usually about the time you hit 40. Maybe
You don't know
sooner.
about that.
Maybe sooner. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to show you this first because you're going to take the band behind your head and then just grab a hold here, and then you're going to extend up.
Okay.
Right, and you want your elbow into your ear as opposed to what I call a chicken wing, which is out this way.
What do you mean into your ear?
There you go.
Oh. Okay.
Good. So same thing, and now you haven't been doing a lot of the resistance training,
No.
which is pretty much what we're doing now. So actually, we talked about doing the core about 15 times, the back, doing the abs, and then doing the back about 15 times. We find that if you haven't been doing much in terms of resistance training, then about one set of 12 or so is going to do it. You just want to make sure that you have enough resistance on there, so by the time you hit 12, you should need to rest. You shouldn't really feel like you could do 15, 20 or more.
Okay.
The idea is to build strength.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily a race of how quickly.
You don't want to do anything
Right.
quickly, and that brings up a really good point. When you see people in the gym and they're going 90 miles an hour, they're using a lot of momentum and they're not using a ton of muscle. If they were to slow down, they would probably find they need to drop the amount of weight they're lifting. Because you want to make sure that your movements are nice and slow and controlled, and that, again, you're maximizing what you're doing by making sure you have enough resistance. A lot of times people will think that the resistance training is like cardio. You're just going to continue to build time. And it's actually the opposite. You want to stay with the same repetitions but build resistance.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if you were doing that with the band and you really just found that that was really too easy, some things you could do to add some resistance is you can add your soup can. So you can take a hold of the soup can and the handle, for example, to add a little bit of resistance there. So you want to look for ways to just continue to build on what you're doing, but your repetitions are still going to stay pretty low. But since you haven't been doing a lot of resistance training, you can probably do about one set of 12 to fatigue, and you're going to be good.
Okay.
You'll want to progress from there after your body adjusts a little bit, but we're finding that that really works nicely for most people. And incorporating this into a routine is a fantastic thing to do.
Okay.
We all need to be doing some type of resistance training, but most women don't like to.
Right.
We find guys don't really like cardio so much, and women don't like weights so much. So, but you'll find that these pieces are not too cumbersome to use. Okay, so another thing we can do with the band is I'm going to have you step on the middle again.
Both feet?
Yep. And I'm going to have you turn your knuckles forward, and you're going to come right up to an upright row, and your shoulders are going to actually stay level and down. Perfect. Now, let go of one of the handles and step down toward the end.
Thank
Yep.
you, Ella.
Just like that. Perfect. Take
Both
the
hands
band
are-
out to the side.
Okay.
Make sure the elbow stays soft. You don't want to lock the joint to puts undue pressure. So you can do, that's a lateral raise, it's going to work the shoulders. The upright row is also going to work the shoulders. And you can just switch hands by transferring that over. There you go. And if you need to step further down on the band, then you're good there too. Okay? Any questions about what we've done? You got this all, you're going to remember it like that, right?
You wrote it down.
You don't need to do all of this in one night either. You can split this up and do it in different, over a period of time. So keep that in mind. All right, so that is some of the things you can do with the band, some of the things you can do with the ball, and this little beauty. This is the weighted balls and the medicine balls are personally some of my favorite things to use. I really, really like having people use these. You can buy them in different weights. I brought a 4-pound today, and we'll see kind of how that goes. You can get as low as 2, or you can continue to go up to 6, 8, 10, 12, and so on, okay? So there's a lot of different things that you can do with the ball, and one of the things while you're still standing that I'm going to do that the girls might like to try also is put the ball between your hands, take your feet about hip distance apart, and you're going to actually just do a squat down and then raise up about shoulder level, and then squat down and then raise up about shoulder level. Good.
You want to try?
Might be kind of heavy.
Okay, squat down with it.
I
Is it heavy?
can squat down, but I can't get back up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let Ella try. Good job.
Good. The other thing that you can do, and this is going to build a lot of cardio, and I'll show you first, is you can swing through and lift, and you can even toss the ball. They'll incorporate some cardio in there. You'll do that for about 30 seconds to a minute, so give it a try.
All right.
Woohoo!
Mm.
Very good. Very good.
Don't let it hit the fan.
No.
That's a good idea.
Don't throw it too high,
I think
right?
the ball would probably break the fan.
Yep.
Okay,
Cool.
that's good. Some things that you can do on the floor with the ball. So we're going to have you go ahead and sit down. And you guys can definitely join in because you can do this without a ball. But you're going to go ahead, put your feet flat on the floor. Nope, just bend your knees, feet flat on the floor. Sit up tall. Make sure your spine is nice and long. Put the ball in front of you. You're going to roll halfway back.
Mm-hmm.
And then come up.
Remember what I told you about my abs?
You're fine. Roll halfway back. The important thing here is not to land on the tailbone.
Oh,
Stay
okay.
off the tailbone. Yeah, so that's what
So
we
it's
call
not real far.
a half roll back. So you girls try it. You can do it without a ball. Roll halfway back. Perfect.
Good job.
Now, if you go about halfway back again, keep your feet on the ball and twist from side to side.
Keep my feet on the ball?
Feet on the floor, excuse me. Feet on the floor, twist side to side. This is called a Russian twist. And you can progress with this by taking your feet off the floor.
Sure.
I would not do that right now.
No,
but it's
neither
gonna
would
be
I.
Something that you would continue to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Nope.
So there's a variety of different things that you can do with the ball. And those are just a few examples, okay? So when we look at doing things with just your body weight without any equipment, you can do some effective exercises there as well. And as long as we're on the floor, we're going to do one of my favorites, which is a plank. So what I'm going to have you do is get on your hands and knees.
You can do it with me?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So everybody together, you got your hands, you're going to have your wrists right underneath your shoulders, and you want to be, you might want to move up a little bit. And what I'm going to have you do is extend your right leg back, put your foot on the floor. Now try the left. Okay, how's that feel?
Good.
Good. All right, so this is a plank, and a lot of people think that this really works the arms. It's actually working her core. So you're really going to feel your abs and back engaged here, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job. For somebody who before we started this said, my abs are terrible, you're doing a great job. Now if you can lift the right leg off the floor. Good, and down. Look at you. And left. And down. So this is something you can try to hold for about 30 seconds at a time. And there's a lot of different things you can do with plank. You can walk sideways with them. There's a ton. It's a very effective and popular exercise. Now go ahead and put your knees down right where they are. Okay. Yep. And they're going to be back a little bit. So this is now Michelle's in what we call a modified plank. And if you haven't done plank, and your core is a little bit softer, or not as strong as you want it to be to do a full plank, you can do this modification and then just build up. And we really, really want to make sure that you build from the bottom up for safety reasons, just so you don't get hurt. You did great in full plank position, so no worries there.
So no modification for me?
No modification. The other thing you can do here is you can do a push-up, of course. You don't need to have the ball to do that. You can do do knee down push-ups or knee up, or as my kids call it, girl push-ups or boy push-ups. And we do know if you're a boy doing a girl push-up, that seems to not be a very good thing.
Good job.
If you want to go ahead and go on your back, lay down with your knees bent, feet flat on the mat. You can do the same crunch that you did on the ball on the floor. Yep. Everybody together.
job.
Don't wipe each other out. There you go.
That's right.
So same thing. I did say earlier that you do have a little bit more benefit if you can do it on the ball. So, but you can also do it on the floor if you don't feel like dragging the ball out or whatever.
It's more comfortable on the ball.
It is more comfortable on the ball. Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. So you're going to stand back up again. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to build some cardio and do some cardio work at home. And you said you have a kickboxing video.
Mm-hmm.
So there are things that you can do without using that video. If you don't want to take the time to put it in, or you have minimal time to go through an entire workout, there are little things that you can do. So do you ladies want to do this with us? All right. So the first thing we are going to do, because you are pretty proficient, believe it or not, in what you're doing, we're going to start you with this. We're going to start with a jump squat. So you can place your hands on the hips. You're going to come down, knees and hips are bent, and you're just going to jump up and land nice and soft. And you can do these, just continue to do these, land soft and jump. Same thing, you can build up time. So you can probably already start to feel the heart rate come up a little bit. So you can go aim for 30 seconds, aim for 15 to start, 30, if you can even do those for 45 or up to a minute. That's a lot of jump squats.
Mm-hmm.
Jumping rope is also a great cardio workout that you can use. We don't have a jump rope here tonight, but there are people that can jump rope for, a half hour straight at a time, which is a killer workout, but their age is a little bit easier. Our age, all of a sudden you're thinking, how did this become so hard? So, but it is something, again, if you do that, it can be a lot of fun, and it's something you build up with time. And you can do that with any cardio exercise. A lot of times people think, for example, if you're going to run, you just go out and run.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really promote that. If you haven't been running, we really look at doing like a couch to 5K or building up. And I know at work you're doing one of those now too.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
all right. So when we look at your kickboxing video, you can take the med ball, and we will use the equipment for this one, and we can actually bring the ball down and the knees up. But go ahead and try that. The one thing is you want to make sure that your spine stays long here. Yep, you want to try that? That ball might be a little bit heavy, but you don't have to use the ball. You can
do it
just
without the ball?
think of taking a board. You like karate? Hi-ya!
There you
Hi-ya!
go.
Hi-ya!
Good job, Ella.
Right? There you go. You got it. Okay, so so you can use that. If we look at, we can do a diagonal knee smash, which means you're going to just bring the arms up and you're going to come down and continue
Hey, we did
to
that
come
in
down.
kickboxing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly like, again, you've got that board and you're going to smash it over your knee every time.
Remember that?
And again, you can do about 30 seconds one side, and then you're going to switch, because what happens if you don't switch sides? You know what happens if you don't switch sides?
Yeah.
You're going to walk like this. Your one leg won't work if you don't switch sides. It'll be dead from doing this on one side the whole time. All right, so the other thing you can do, taking out of the kickboxing side of things, is arms up, and you can kick, kick, kick. You want to make sure the spine stays long. A lot of times when people kick, you're going to find they collapse.
Mm-hmm.
You want to up nice and tall. Good. And then you can take that to a side kick. Come up to the side and down. Kick and down. So these are things you don't necessarily need to get the video out for. You can just do them. You can do them in a little circuit, take a minute break, do them again in another circuit, take a minute break.
So each one for a minute,
Build up,
and then
build
okay.
up. But start for like 15 seconds each one. If you feel
Okay.
like that's pretty good, then go for 30 the next time around.
Okay.
And just keep building up. That is something you're really going to kind of build up on time for.
Okay.
Okay. So any questions about what we went over today?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Doable.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
Good, good. And the space fits. The girls that's something the whole family can do as well, right?
You gonna do it with me then?
But
All these exercises.
Like bike rides and all kinds of things you do as a family. You can do this